So two stories that, as I told you earlier, we are focusing on, and the question we were asking is: does India not care about its animals? A rare bear was massacred in Chhattisgarh. It took a dozen policemen and continuous firing of 100 rounds that shot dead this bear. And on the other hand, the story of now the slain horse Shaktiman of the Uttarakhand police, who died of battling his injuries. Let me now quickly go across to my guest on this, on the shocking story that has come from Chhattisgarh, as well as the ordeal that Shaktiman had to face. Ambika Shukla is an animal rights activist. Let me just quickly go across to her for more on this. Ambika, you know, how do you see this? What are the laws? Particularly, let's break it down. Let me first talk about this Chhattisgarh story that has just come across. Dozen policemen, they fired 100 shots to kill this bear. Even if the bear was in some conflict with the people, what are the prescribed norms? It seems that all wildlife norms were thrown to win, and they just went on for target practice.
And this is not an isolated incident. The shocking thing is that it continues to happen, and we don't seem to learn from one incident to the next. Nor does anybody get punished, nor are any norms evolved, nor is there any improvement in any kind of our conduct with regard to animals. And that is what is sad, and leaves one feeling completely hopeless. There are laws, we do have animal protection laws in India. The problem is with the implementation and with the awareness. Not many people are aware that when they are cruel to an animal, that there are consequences that they can face. Once that is percolated down to society at large, I feel sure that there will be an improvement in our dealing with animals.
You know, Ambika, if quickly you could tell our viewers, and also if you could tell us what sort of action now can be taken against these policemen. They just went on to target practice. I mean, why wasn't there any tranquilizer used? Why weren't other means used before shooting down this bear so brutally?
Correct. Why didn't the police contact the nearest forest department? The DFO should have provided a team with a tranquilizer gun, and the bear should have been tranquilized and transported back to safety. You must realize that wild animals are not aggressors. They are lost, confused, and frightened creatures who wander into human habitat by mistake. Once they are in human habitat, they are cornered, poked, teased, bullied, and beaten, and usually killed. So these are not aggressors. These are not they are the victims, and we must treat them with compassion, and we must treat them according to the laws. There are laws that say that wildlife must be preserved. Nobody is allowed to kill, enslave, deal in, buy, sell, anything to do with wildlife. We need to leave them alone. And the wildlife department needs to be very much more vigilant.
Would like to bring your attention. Everybody has been talking about Shaktiman, that Uttarakhand police horse ultimately succumbed to his injuries after losing his leg in that political protest. People have been asking about whether it's time to phase out horses from the policing. What is your take on that? And because the police still says it's a very effective way to control the mob.
I believe that horses should not be used in crowd situations. Horses are by nature very nervous animals. They are the one creature that is required to wear blinkers so that they don't see what is on either side of them. They are that, nervous and that sensitive. So we really should not be using them in crowd situations, because firstly because of their own nature, and secondly because they are then vulnerable to crowd cruelty, people pulling their tails, people jumping on them. You find the same thing in wedding processions. I would say not just in policing, but I should think that they should be phased out of weddings as well, because with the noise of a barat, with the drums beating, horses, people are drunken, dancing. That is not the right environment for a nervous, gentle creature.
Important points you're making there, Ambika. I'm afraid I'm out of time, but of course we would like more such discussions to happen, so that the people are aware that as a country, as people, we need to be more sensitive to these wild elements. These kind of behavior and these kind of examples do not go well. Thank you so much, Ambika Shukla, for speaking to us here on India Today. Well, with that, it's a wrap on this bulletin. But coming up next, in our sports show.
All right, we're getting news that after getting DNA samples, or rather giving the DNA samples of the 4 Pakistani terrorists killed in the Pathankot airbase attack, India is now contemplating disposing of the dead bodies lying.
There's the hair. But then I decided to use the public transport. And now I feel I look like Natha. But don't you worry, the show looks fantastic.